All right, y'all, we finally got the full Kevin Durant files explained. Now, last time I reacted to these was like the last All-Star game on Sunday. And it was only like a little bit of information, not a lot of stuff explained, so I wanted to wait a day. We came across via the Flight Mic. We got the full KD files. Let's check it out.
You can give up.
That man, KD, man. If you guys been sleeping on a rock, he got exposed once again for being on this burner on Twitter. Long story short, he had the same situation. I forgot what year. It was like 2010, 2013 era. Maybe like a little bit less. But, bro, like, KD, I said he needed to get it together. He needs to deactivate social and all that. Let's see the full in-depth of everything he exactly said through these files, man.
Thing for the rest of your life. I'm going to go Twitter. Because they don't deserve it.
How do you describe Kevin Durant? What's going on with his personality? This guy seems obsessed with social media. I can't believe.
Now, bro, to be fair, there's nothing wrong with being on social media. It's just doing too much. Doing too much of anything is always a problem. And that's his problem. I feel like he abuses being on social media, especially her status, you know? Like, bro, this is Kevin Durant we're talking about, bro. Longevity in the NBA. You probably have about a solid 3 years left before you retire, bro. Like, finish off strong.
Count thing.
Because we know you're going to be on that shit anyway when you retire. So, bro.
Might have just ruined everything. I mean, look, I give this man all of his respect.
I'm going to be fair, bro. Do y'all think that? You think KD ruined everything with his career right here or his legacy? I think, bro, let's be fair. I'm going to be 1,000 about this. If KD comes back when the NBA season resumes, which is by our time reacting to this tomorrow, as long as KD drops like 40, 50-point games, do that a couple times, niggas gonna forget about the shit. They gonna joke about it, but they gonna forget about it. Now, KD is going 2 of 27. They're going to be on your head, especially Rockets fans.
He's a 15-time All-Star, a 2-time NBA champion, a 2-time Finals MVP.
I ain't going to lie. We might need to get the Rockets in the rotation for the next month or two because I want to see how, right, because he talked shit about Shampoo, Jabari Parker, if I'm not mistaken. I need to see this. I ain't going to lie.
Effortless jump shots in the history of basketball. At 37 years old, he's still averaging 25.8 points per game on the Houston Rockets.
It was like 35.
He's shooting over 50% from the field. He ranks 3rd in the entire NBA in minutes per game. And no one's really talking about this because LeBron James is also defying father time. But
yo, why are they giving this picture of LeBron, bro?
What he's currently doing is amazing. During All-Star Weekend,
like
while every other star in the league was
Star Wars
having a good time at the festivities in LA, Kevin Durant was caught on camera, and the look on his face tells you everything you gotta know. He was glued to his phone, pacing around the court, looking stressed, and the reason why? The internet was in the middle of exposing what they believe is Kevin Durant's latest burner account. This isn't just him defending his legacy against some fan. The messages here are really, really bad. I'm talking about leaked group chat messages where this account is allegedly trashing his own teammates, calling his franchise player out by name.
Wait, he said something about Kai? Oh, no, he's talking about... No, he's talking about Kyrie.
Trashing his own teammates, calling his franchise player out by name, saying he can't trust guys to make a shot, comparing his former teammates to literal dictators, and even saying he'd be better off on the Charlotte Hornets than the Houston Rockets. Bro, Kevin Durant just got on the Houston Rockets, and he's already trying to jump ship to a different team. Now, here's the thing. Nothing has been confirmed. Kevin Durant hasn't said a word about this, but the evidence that fans have put together is wild.
Bro, my thing is just, he talked about group chats as being leaked. Bro, how are you a superstar NBA player and think that, you know what I'm saying, random niggas you talking on the net that are not even smelling the pros, besides the fact, you know what I'm saying, they don't even have like the audacity to just hold water. You think they're not going to leak that out, bro?
We're about to break all of this down because this isn't even the first time Kevin Durant has been caught up in a burner situation. This is like his 3rd time, and that history is exactly
Wait, he had 2? I thought it was 1.
So believable to so many people. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? If you know anything about Kevin Durant, you know this man lives on Twitter. Like, genuinely lives there. He's one of the most active NBA superstars on social media, and he has been for over a decade. KD doesn't have a filter. He'll respond to a fan with 12 followers at 2 in the morning arguing about whether he's better than LeBron.
I ain't gonna lie, but the thing is he did it way too much. Like, there's nothing wrong with I actually like when pro players respond back to hate because they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? 1,000%. Everybody's human at the end of the day. Niggas be thinking they can talk to niggas any type of way. But, bro, there's a fine line between, you know what I'm saying, you responding back to hate every 3 months and then you being in a group chat talking ish about your teammates. And then word around the town, word around the street. I already was talking about Steph Chef. I want to see that.
He'll drop takes about
I don't think we covered that when we had a little hints of the original when the files. It sounds crazy if you say KD files, you know, when it first got leaked out on Sunday during the All-Star
The man does not care. And honestly, for a while, that was kind of refreshing. In an era where every player has a PR team scripting their tweets, KD was just being himself. Look at how PR trained LeBron James is when he is asked about one of the most sensitive topics in the world right now.
If I have fans over there, I've never been there. If I have fans over there, then you know, I hope you been following my career. I hope I inspire people over there to not only want to be great in sports, but I want to just be better in general in life. So hopefully someday I can make it over there.
The guy knows how to deflect every controversial topic and question that he gets asked. And what I'm saying is Kevin Durant is pretty much the opposite. He's typically himself. But the problem with Kevin Durant on social media is that being himself sometimes means saying stuff that gets him in serious trouble. And the first time it blew up in a really big way was back in September of 2017. Let me give you a history lesson. Here's what happened. KD had just won his first championship with the Golden State Warriors. He was the finals MVP. He left the OKC Thunder the summer before, and everybody had clowned him for joining a 73-win team. The narrative was that he took the easy way out, that he couldn't beat him, so he joined them. And even though he won a championship, the criticism didn't stop. People were still coming for him every single day. So one night, a Twitter user named Cole Cashwell tweeted at KD asking him what his motives were for leaving OKC other than getting a championship. Pretty standard stuff. But what happened next was one of the most embarrassing moments in NBA social media history. KD responded to this fan, and what he said was insane. He said he didn't like the organization or playing for Billy Donovan. His roster wasn't that good. It was just him and Russ. Read that again. He didn't like the organization. He, third person. The internet immediately figured out what happened. KD meant to post that from a burner account, not his real one.
That happened in 27. I thought it was lower than that for some reason.
He tweeted from the wrong account, and in doing so, he confirmed what a lot of people had suspected for a very long time. KD had secret accounts that he used to anonymously defend himself online. The whole thing went viral instantly, memes everywhere. People were calling it Tweetgate. Sports outlets were running segments on it. It became one of the most defining NBA moments that had absolutely nothing to do with basketball. Here you have a guy who finally won an NBA championship, who was the finals MVP, one of the best scorers to ever play the game, and he's spending his free time creating fake accounts to argue with strangers on the internet about his own legacy. KD eventually addressed it at the 2017 TechCrunch Disrupt event. He said he took it too far.
I do have another Instagram account, but that's just for my friends and family. So I wouldn't say I was using that to clap back at anybody, but I use Twitter to engage with the fans. But I happen to take it a little too far, and that's what happens sometimes when I get into these basketball debates. Or
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, the amount of times you be on Twitter where it seems like you get it, bro, Katie, you might as well have just said that from your regular account. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, most of the arguments, you know what I'm saying, you were talking about basketball is, I hope. There was a little 5%. You was talking about some old other wild ish. You can't defend that whatsoever. But for the most part, you kept it basketball. I don't even know why you even made a burner. You should just kept it on the record. Because you was responding to niggas I would see on your actual Twitter page with certain things. I don't understand why.
To play basketball,
you think they were going to find that out?
I don't regret clapping back at anybody or talking to my fans on Twitter. I do regret using my former coach's name and the former organization that I played for. That was childish. That was idiotic. All those type of words. I regret doing that, and I apologize to him for doing that.
He said he doesn't regret clapping back at fans, but admitted he went overboard defending his OKC exit. He later told GQ that he'd woken up from a nap and forgot to log out of his main account. Most people would have been embarrassed. They would have deleted their burners. They would have never done something like this again, and they would have moved on with their life. Not KD. In 2019, he went on ESPN's The Boardroom and straight up admitted that he used burner accounts.
I wanted a place where I could talk to my friends without anybody just butting in my conversations or taking everything out of context because I enjoyed that place.
How'd you come up with that idea though? Were you like, yo, I'm just gonna create this account and start going?
Yeah, I had an Instagram account that I just used for my friends and family and just turned over to Twitter as well. And it was just it was a cool place for me to just be me instead of worrying about Bleacher Report or Barstool, mixing up anything I want to say to CJ or my friends from back home, I guess
I see that. Is that Ronnie?
My friends and family and just turned over to Twitter.
Is that Ronnie? Yeah, fuck Ronnie, bro. Why the fuck you in a conversation with KD, man?
Be me instead of worrying about Bleacher Report or Barstool, mixing up anything.
Bro, that is Ronnie, bro. Get this nigga out of here, man.
I guess I try to live a normal life out in public, I guess.
Then in 2020, he went on the All the Smoke podcast on Showtime and doubled down.
I didn't like to use a burner phone. I would have said, I'm Kevin Durant, I'm gonna cuss you out, you talk some shit, I'm gonna talk some shit. I'm gonna speak my mind.
I'm still gonna do the burner thing. I'm still gonna
Hey, that footage gonna come back to haunt him too, man. What Shadida did.
But I'm saying these folks are always.
I told Alex Rodriguez on the Court podcast that same year that I still have burners that I use for sure. And honestly, at the time, people kind of let it go. They laughed about it. KD leaned into the joke. When Meta launched Threads in 2023, he literally tweeted from his verified account, on Threads with a burner, come find me. It became part of his brand. KD's a burner guy. It became a meme and he became the butt of the joke. But here's where it gets really bad. Those burners weren't just used to talk with friends. He wasn't just innocently defending his legacy. Those burners were used for something way more sinister that can alter Kevin Durant's reputation and his career for the rest of his life. All right, so let's get into how this whole thing started. It's February 15, 2026, All-Star Weekend in Inglewood, California. KD is about to play in his 16th All-Star game. Everything is supposed to be celebratory, but Kevin Durant, being Kevin Durant, is on Twitter. He gets into an exchange with the fan about the NBA's redesigned trophies. It's pretty harmless stuff. KD says that the trophies look fine. The fan disagrees. Standard Twitter back and forth. But then a user named Pranav Sriraman jumps in and flips the whole conversation. Instead of talking about trophies, he starts pressing KD about his investment in a drone company called Skydio, which had reportedly sold drones to the IDF. Pranav hits KD with, "They look cheap and uncreative." There, I answered your question. Will you answer my question about Skydio, a drone company you invested in, selling to the IDF? Or will you stick to your brand of deflecting and ducking? KD doesn't respond. Crickets. But the thread keeps going. And that's when another user named BasedFrog23 enters the chat and drops what would become the bombshell of All-Star Weekend. He replies asking if KD will address the burner account under the handle @GetHigher77, calling out how all of KD's friends appear to be in a group chat connected to the account, and how the user has been trashing his teammates in those chats. And then the screenshots stop dropping one by one, and they don't stop. Within hours, the account goes private, but the damage is already done. The internet has seen everything. Before we get into what these messages actually say,
I see Steph's name in there.
Convinced that this account belongs to Kevin Durant, because even though nothing is confirmed, people have put together some pretty compelling circumstantial evidence. The first piece of evidence is the owl. The account @GetHigher77 uses an owl as both its profile picture and banner image. And here's where it gets interesting. KD's verified account @KDTray5 tweeted that same exact owl gif back on February 9th, 2021. The burner account was...
I remember when this is one of the things that I seen last time we saw on stream. And I think I seen some in the comments, they literally was like, KD was giving Easter eggs the whole time, but we didn't catch on.
Created in August of 2021, just a few months later, using that same owl image. Is it possible...
Wait, did I say that right? Easter eggs or hints or... Whatever, I'm editing
that image and used it, sure. But the connection is there, and fans noticed it immediately. Evidence number 2 is the shared block list. An account called @CGBBurner, also known as Can't Guard Book, which is a pretty well-known Suns fan account, posted that they're blocked by KD on both his verified account and the alleged burner account.
Bro, it'd be funny as hell, because some of these NBA accounts... They do be saying some crazy shit, and then they be wondering why they be getting blocked.
About that.
That's actually funny.
You
blocked the
why would it have the
fan
same
page
people
account
blocked as KD's real account? That's a pretty suspicious overlap. The third piece of evidence is the inner circle. The people in the group chats connected to this account reportedly include individuals from KD's inner circle. Private coaches, league friends, people who would have access to behind-the-scenes basketball information. The account didn't have a huge following, only about 75 followers.
Honestly, now thinking about that, I think it's one of his friends or one of the, his close, whatever, that he has exclusively followed on there that leaked it out, if it makes sense.
And it was set to private, which is exactly what you would expect from someone trying to keep their burner under the radar. And then there's the player perspective. This is the one that really seals the deal for a lot of people. The messages themselves sound exactly like Kevin Durant. The tone, the frustration, the specific references to plays, coaches, and teammates. The account talks about things from a first-person player perspective. Stuff like, "Coach called that play to pass to Alpi," and "Every time out, he got me sitting in the corner." These are not takes a random fan would have. These are things someone who is actually on the court would say. And evidence number 5 is KD's own admissions. We already know KD has burner accounts. He's admitted it multiple times. On All the Smoke in 2020, on the Court podcast, and in his 2019 boardroom interview. And as recently as October 2025, he went on the Pivot podcast and talked about using social media as a...
And now the thing about it, KD set himself up too, going on these podcasts and admitting that he's still using burners and still, that just gave people even more of a chance to stalk you, lurk you, try and figure out
for his emotions that he doesn't want bottled up.
So, I see these comments and I see when people say different things. It's hard not to see it, but I don't want to build up all of this hate towards, media or fans or so I just say what I feel in the moment. And
so when you add all of that up, the owl picture, the shared blocked accounts, the inner circle connections, the first-person player perspective, and the fact that Kevin Durant has openly admitted to using burners for years, it's really hard for people to just wave this off as a troll. Is there a chance this is all fake and some dedicated fan created an elaborate roleplay account? Absolutely. But the court of public opinion has already made its ruling. And now we get to the messages.
Court of public opinion is funny.
I'm going to warn you guys right now, some of this stuff is rough, because if these messages are real, KD went after everybody, his current teammates, his former teammates,
all right, here's
coaches,
the spicy
everyone.
stuff incoming.
Let's start with his current Rockets teammates. The account posted about Alperen Şengün, who is Houston's franchise center, their all-star this year, the guy who just replaced Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the all-star game, and the supposed future of the franchise. The message said, "Coach called that play to pass to Alpi, LOL. I'm gonna turn the ball over with this team. I don't care. Your franchise player can't shoot or defend. That's a way bigger issue than my turnovers. Remember, these guys are your future." Then it gets worse. About Jabari Smith Jr., the second overall pick in 2022, who Houston drafted to be a cornerstone piece, the account wrote, "I can't trust Jabari to make a shot or get a stop," and then used the slur to
bro,
describe
we don't
it.
need to see these Rockets games, man. It's gonna be nice and awkward, and I love that. It's gonna be awkward these Rockets games rest of the season.
The whole reason Houston brought KD in was to help develop players like Jabari Smith Jr. and Alperen Sengun and Amin Thompson. And allegedly behind closed doors, he's in group chats calling them out like this. And it didn't stop at the Rockets. The account even said that the Hornets have better young players than Houston, and that he'd be better on Charlotte than on the Rockets. It's just so funny how the grass is always greener on the other side for Kevin Durant. He just got to Houston.
Bro, he could have stayed his ass in Golden State, got 3 more championships and shit. Like,
a team that finished second in the Western Conference last year, and he's already looking at the streaking Charlotte Hornets. But it gets even worse.
Shit, KD on the Hornets next
walk
season?
you through what the account allegedly said about KD's former teammates, because nobody was safe. Let's start with Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. Remember, KD spent about 2 seasons in Phoenix, and apparently that experience left some scars. The account compared Booker and former Suns head coach Frank Vogel to dictators, and not just any dictators. The message said 2 dictators, Stalin and Hitler, Mussolini and Kim Jong-un. I mean, come on, that is insane. The account also said the Suns are my team when we lose and Book's team when we win, which honestly gives you a pretty clear window into the frustration, because that's something only a player would feel. When the team wins, Booker gets the credit. When they lose, it all falls on KD.
I mean, KD, you also got to realize, bro, like, you're all top 20 player of all-time superstar joining another all-star potential superstar. Like, you know what I'm saying, his team. Like, you're going to be overlooked sometimes. Like, that's just, if you don't want to, you need to go to the Wizards. You see, I don't understand, because, you know, he's from DC, I feel like. And not I feel like, I know he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, why haven't you just played? I feel like the only 2 KD teams should have gone to after the Warriors is literally the Wizards, bro. Like, the Wizards and, like, what other team he played on after the Warriors? That's it. You should have just went to the Warriors, bro. I meant to say after OKC. Only the Warriors and the Wizards, bro. Like, he needs to be on a team, especially with how the dynasty of Golden State, it just didn't even work out for him. Once you've seen that, bro, you should just go on to a team like the Wizards that got literally fucking nobodies on the fucking team. And you just shine and ball out. And that way, whether you win or lose, all the blame gets put on KD.
Then there's Kyrie Irving. KD and Kyrie were supposed to be the dynamic duo in Brooklyn. They chose to team up together, but there were times where things got a little weird.
In my past life, like I said, I was you. I was you. What you are now, that's what I'm up here. Same mentality.
They brought in James Harden.
Yo, Loki, why do you look like you schooling right there?
Team. But injuries,
when did that live happen?
And team dysfunction blew that whole thing up. The account said something along the lines of Kyrie being on his best behavior around the European, referring to Luka Doncic in Dallas, but treating his own people, meaning KD.
Damn, yo, KD, man, you in some shit. Yo, this is something I ain't see all this.
Like they owe him something. That's a pretty deep cut if you think about it. KD is essentially saying Kyrie was a different person around Luka than he was around him. Then we get to Russell Westbrook, and this one might be the funniest, even though it's disrespectful. The account referred to Russ as a triple-double cocaine bear. I'm not even gonna lie, that's an absolutely wild thing to call somebody.
Yo, what?
In context, the account was comparing how OKC Russ passed the ball more than whoever they were talking about currently. One chat member pointed out that Russ averaged a triple-double that year, which is true. Russ averaged 31.6 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 10.4 assists.
A triple-double cocaine bear,
2016 to 17 season. The season after KD left, and the account basically dismissed it like it meant nothing. The Steph Curry and Golden State messages are interesting too. The account said, I started holding Steph accountable in film, and people looked at me like this, with a meme attached of someone looking confused. The implication being that KD tried to hold Curry accountable in film sessions, and the Warriors organization didn't take kindly to it. Another message said something about how if you don't screen and pass up shots for Steph, you're getting waived, which honestly feeds into—
Yo, all right, KD, you crossed the line, man. All right. Steph is the reason why you have rings. You know what I'm saying? Low-key, the reason why you low-key brought a different type of relevancy towards the league. Not saying you still wouldn't have been a Hall of Famer, but Steph definitely leveled you up once you got to the Warriors, bro. Like, how dare you?
To the narrative that KD has kind of hinted at before, that the Warriors system was always Steph's system, everyone else was just there to support it. There was also a comment about Steve—
I seen this, I remember when I was on stream.
Kerr that referenced the time Michael Jordan punched Kerr, which is a wild thing to bring up in a group chat. Now, this is all consistent with how Kevin Durant felt about Golden State. If you remember in his podcast with Draymond Green a couple of years ago, he mentioned the reason he left Golden State was because everything about the Draymond Green and Kevin Durant situation was swept under the rug and they never spoke about their problems openly. But the funniest part of all is is what he said about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, of all people, got a shout out here. The account allegedly said, "I swear I miss Ben Simmons. At least that dude would give me the ball." And Ben Simmons is the guy that
Yeah, of course he don't give you the ball. He don't pass up an open layup. Simmons have been his ass, bro.
nostalgic about. That's when you know things
Bro,
are
he's
bad.
soft as fucking.
But it also
like,
tells you something about KD's frustration. In Brooklyn, Simmons was widely criticized for refusing to shoot. But apparently from KD's perspective,
Of course
at
he
least
didn't
he
give
was
you the
willing
ball.
to share the ball. And about James Harden, the account described him as slightly delusional, but I understand him, which is actually one of the tamer takes in this whole leak. But still not something you want to say about a former teammate. Now here's where this whole thing gets even more wild, because while these screenshots were going viral, KD was physically at the All-Star game, and cameras caught everything. Video started circulating of Kevin Durant pacing around the court before the game even started, completely locked into his phone. His expression was tight, he wasn't smiling, he wasn't engaging with other players. While other All-Stars were laughing, dapping each other up, and enjoying the atmosphere, KD looked like a man who just found out his secrets were all over the internet. Because, well, they were. There's one clip in particular that went super viral where a staff member tries to redirect KD, and you can see him force this strained smile before turning away. It's the kind of body language that screams, "I know something bad is happening right now, and I'm trying to hold it together." Multiple fan accounts shared clips
I mean,
of
that
him
is
constantly
true, but it's
checking
just
his
funny
phone
how niggas is on KD's ass. They look at his body language
throughout the entire night, even while seated on the bench in his warm-ups. And his actual performance in the All-Star game reflected the distraction. KD finished the night with just 12 points across all 3 mini-games, shooting 5 of 15 from the field in 28 minutes. For a guy who's averaging 25.8 points per game this season, for a 15-time All-Star, that's an awful showing. In the championship game, he failed to score a single point in 6 minutes and missed all 4 of his shots. His team got demolished 47-21 in the final. Was it just a bad day? Maybe. All-Star games aren't exactly known for giving maximum effort, but the timing is impossible to ignore. While everyone else is having fun at the biggest NBA party of the year, KD looked like a man watching his world burn in real time. Now, I gotta be fair here, not everyone's buying this story, and there are some legit reasons for skepticism. The biggest argument against it is simple. KD doesn't need a burner to talk trash. This man will respond to a fan account with 50 followers from his verified account at midnight on a Tuesday.
And I like that. See, when he does it from his main account and he's doing shit like, I actually respect. I want more athletes to start doing stuff like that, like responding to hate, like responding to.
About saying what he thinks under his own name. There's also the
But
fact
there's
that
a fine line between doing it too much and taking it too far, and that's what KD's clearly doing.
Can be faked. None of the leaked images include verified metadata, IP confirmation, or any kind of platform authentication. Social media impersonation happens all the time, especially with high-profile athletes. Someone could have created this account, built an entire persona around being KD in group chats, and we'd have no way to tell the difference from the screenshots alone. Do with this what you will. The NBA invited a bunch of influencers to All-Star Weekend. They didn't invite your boy, so make sure you subscribe.
Facts, bro. They snubbed me,
in the future. Neon was one of them, and he reportedly talked to KD directly and claims Durant told him that the account isn't his. But that's a denial through an intermediary, not from Kevin Durant himself. And what is Kevin Durant going to do? Come out and say, yeah, this burner that makes me look bad is definitely me. But here's the most important part. How does this affect the rest of the Rockets season? Whether the account is Kevin Durant or not, the damage is already done. Because perception is reality in the NBA. And right now, the perception is that Kevin Durant is secretly trashing his young teammates behind their backs. Think about what this means for the Rockets. Houston is 33-20 at the All-Star break, 4th in the West. They signed KD to a $90 million extension in October.
By playoff time, it's definitely going to get a lot more awkward and like heated, because that's when, you know what I'm saying, niggas really play for real and lock in. And it's like the Rockets are clearly going to make the playoffs or top 5 in the Western Conference. So
of having him mentor their young core and lead them toward a championship.
I ain't gonna lie, I genuinely want to see the Rockets make it as far in the playoffs as possible, just to see like the tensions of that
presence that helps guys like Şengün, Jabari Smith, and the Thompson twins develop into winners. And now those same young players might be seeing their supposed mentor say that he can't trust them to make a shot in private group chats. Trust is everything in a locker room, and when your franchise player, even allegedly, is out here comparing former teammates to dictators and saying the Hornets have better young players than your team, that's a problem. Jabari Smith is 22. Şengün is 23. These are young guys who look up to a player like Kevin Durant. How do you look him in the eye in practice knowing he might think you're trash? The Rockets don't have until Thursday against the Hornets of all teams. So
no way, they're playing the Hornets out of this after all this shit's going on. Yo, please remind me we need to watch that game, bro.
Addresses it before then.
Bro, unfortunately now Rockets are in the rotation until further notice. Just because we want to tune in how this drama's gonna unfold.
Press him on it.
Congratulations, Houston. Holy.
Happened. But this isn't going away. The internet never forgets. And in the age of screenshots, nothing ever truly stays private.
This is like even too like perfect time for like fans of like the away crowd to start doing the trolling even worse. Like they're gonna start bringing billboards like, Katie, did you go on your burner today or something? I see it already, bro.
Watching a video on my channel,
right by the free throw line. Get off your burner, Katie!
You may not get recommended any of my content again. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic Until our next upload.
All right, man. Shout out to the Flight Mike, man. We finally got the full KD files explained. This is absolutely diabolical, man. It's literally crazy now in this time period where social media is developed. We're seeing mainstream superstars get exposed for stuff like this that you would usually see with somebody that's just like not a professional player. But I mean, at the end of the day, like KD, that's what makes him like now excluding like the crazy stuff that he was saying in the DMs and, you know, whatever the deflecting he was doing that was very controversial, whatever. Like, it just shows him that he is a normal human. I mean, all the professional players are normal humans at the end of the day. But it just really shows you how much, you know, normal he is. Like, he's just really trying to be just like everybody else. But, bro, KD, you're just going about this the wrong way, bro. Like I said when I was on stream last time, if you can, try to deactivate your socials for the rest of the season. You don't got people to, you know, to give them a reason to talk about, you know what I'm saying, this shit. Drop a few 40, a few 50-point games, shit, even a 60-point game. Niggas is going to forget about this.